The state of our mind is a direct reflection of what we portray. The state of our mind is a direct reflection of what we portray. You cannot be greater than your mind. You cannot progress more than this level and the state of your mind. You cannot excel beyond your mind capacity. As a matter of fact, you cannot even act beyond your mind capacity. Your actions, your words, your motives, your everyday life is limited to the state of your mind. If your mind is at its perfect state, you will definitely be perfect in your dealings, in your choices, in your opinion, in your actions and motives. If your mind falls short, you're definitely going to portray that, because your life is a reflection of your mind. Many of us have been trapped by our mind. Many of us have been killed even while we are still walking by our mind. Many of us have lost it already by our mind. Many of us have come short of God's promises, have come short of the promising future, have come short of our potential because our mind is locked up. Until your mind is unlocked, your territory will not be enlarged. Until your mind is unlocked, your coast will not be enlarged. Until your mind is unlocked, everything around you will remain the same. Because you cannot be greater than it. Your mind is what conceives idea. Your mind is what gives out the idea. Your mind is what conceives thoughts. Your mind is what purposes it. Whatever that is not in your mind does not exist. Whatever does not enter this your mind does not what? Does not exist. That's why some information can make you look so troubled, because it has penetrated your mind. Some information can make you enlightened, because it has also done what? Penetrated your mind. Romans 12 verse 2. Romans 12 verse 2 says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Just underline, go back, verse 2. Just underline, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That portion alone is all what that chapter is all about. There can never be a transformation if your mind is not renewed. The transformation you are praying for and asking for starts with your mind. This Paul's letter to the Romans. He said, be transformed, but by what? The renewing of your mind. You cannot be transformed if your mind is not renewed. You cannot be transformed if there's no new mindset. Everything you knew last year may become obsolete. Until it is updated, you are still living in the past. All of us here, we have gadgets that from time to time, you will have display of updates from one firmware to another, from one software to another. Why? Why is the update necessary? Because that gadget you got last year cannot carry some task now. You need some update that will make it look, you make it transform to what the age carries, what the age gives. The phone you bought 2018 may not have some certain app running in it, may not have some certain dialogues on it. You must update the firmware for it to receive new information, for it to receive new instruction. If that's just man-made gadget, how about us as humans? God is very dynamic, meaning that we too should be what? Dynamic. If you are locked up by yesterday's occurrences and happenings without renewing your mind, you realize that after 20 years you are still living in yesterday. You cannot be greater than your mind. If you don't think about something, you cannot do it. Let's say that again. If you don't think about something, it cannot be done. Because the action must come from the mind. Everything you do is a reflection of your mind. That's why you must be careful of what enters your mind. What enters your mind can destroy you. What enters your mind can build you. You see, you realize that sometimes you are just so obscure. You can't stay around people. When I mean people of high pedigree. Because your the level of your mind, the state of your mind does not synchronize with theirs. There are people you cannot roll with because you don't think the way they think. You don't act the way they act. At the end of the day, it's all about your mind. Have you seen where a very young fellow, like when I say young, like very young fellow, will be rolling with very mature men? You think it's friendship? He has what to offer. His mind is at that level. You can look small in stature, but your mind is bigger. It's not all about your size. It's not the age. It is the level and the state of your mind. If your mind says greatness, you roll with great people. If your mind says blessings, you'll be blessed. If your mind says progress, you see progress. But if your mind confines you to, it cannot happen, then it will never happen. Because you must think about it first before it happens. What do you think about? What do you allow into your mind? Depression, disappointment, confusion, setback. I cannot, it will not, it shall not. Then that is what will be reflected. Because your life is a reflection of your mind. But even if you wake up, even in the midst and in the midst of all disappointments, all confusion, all setback, and name them, the midst of all that, and you still stay strong like Joshua and say, me, I can only get better. I will get better. I will do it. I can get it. Once you start thinking about that, your body will start reflecting it. Your body will start reflecting it by putting you into action. So every action you do will be towards possibility. So you try because you know that you can do it. Are you hearing me now? You try because you know you can do what? You can do it. Your mind should tell you that failures are trials. Are you hearing me now? Until you try something, you cannot fail. So failing means that there's something you try to do. You are better than somebody that didn't even try to do it. So your mind should not tell you you have failed. Your mind should tell you you have tried. Are you getting the point? You must discipline and control your mind that you only allow positive reports to get in there. Because negativity will destroy you in 1 second. Negativity will keep you bound. So, life It's a decision. Life is full of choices. Life is your own opinion. Whatever you want to achieve is limited to you. Whatever you want to have is limited to you. Whatever, anything is all what? Limited to you. I've been telling you this. God can never force you. And Satan can never force you. See those two entities? They have never forced you to do anything. They only give you reason to do them. God will give you reason why you should do what is good. The devil will give you reason why you should do what is bad. God will tell you, don't steal. If you steal, this is what will happen to you. The devil will tell you, if you steal, you will have it. They only give you reason. So you now look at the reason that is more palatable and go for it. It's your mind. Are you strong today? You are strong because your mind is strong. Are you brave? You are brave because your mind is what? Are you courageous? It is because you have a very courageous heart. Are we together? You cannot reflect. I cannot give what you don't have. Have you stood before the mirror before? The mirror will give you back exactly what it sees. So your mind is like a mirror. Once you stand before the mirror will not give you anything extra. It will give you exactly what it sees. So your mind mirrors you. It is very possible for people around you to know what you're thinking. How? Say, but I'm not saying it loud. No. The happenings around you, your action, will show exactly what you're thinking. We call it body language. When you see very senior detectives, they will just look at you and they know what you're thinking. They know if you have done it or you have not done it. Because you are a reflection of that. You can't, no matter how you pretend, you see this mind, you can't block it. As I used to say, you can only pretend for so long, in a short while. Because it is not your real nature. Your mind is not in its perfect state. So very soon it will show up. We have a conscious and unconscious mind. A conscious mind is a pretense mind. An unconscious mind is a natural mind. That is, even when you are woke up from sleep, you are still you. You still say what you said yesterday. That is unconscious mind. But you see, that conscious mind is full of organized information, organized life, organized approach. You know, when you wake up and realize that you have failed, and the first thing you do, you start pointing hands at people that made you fail, you will still fail for a long time. Are we together? That is a very wrong mindset. Nobody makes you fail. You fail because you allow yourself to be failed by people. So you get me now? You fail because you gave the opportunity. A man was asked a question. So when you ask God for patience, do you think God will give you patience? He won't give you patience, but he will give you an opportunity for you to be patient. Patience is not tangible, right? It's not evidence. You can't hold it. So what will God do? We ask God for patience. I want to be patient. It will give you an opportunity for you to be patient. And what would the opportunity look like? Impatience. Impatience. So when the opportunity comes as impatient, your mind is patient, you will stay calm. Is somebody hearing me now? So when you're building up your mind, the opposite will always come. It is the opposite of you that makes you strong. The opposite of blessing, the opposite of progress, the opposite of disappointment, the opposite of life is what makes you what? Strong. Don't run away from the opposite of what you are praying for. Because the opposite is what will fulfill what you have asked for. God gives you answers in raw states, raw form, and allow you to process it to whatever you want. God does not have a finished product for anybody. Because if he gives you a finished product, you will not grow. You grow by tests. You grow by practice. You grow by trials. You grow by all that. where you come from. Where you come from. The most stupid excuse anybody can give is you see, where I was growing up, it's not an excuse. You must learn to challenge your hearts, your mind at all time. I have seen someone that is doing well. I can be like them. If you ask them, they may come from where is worse than where you came from. But the state of their mind said, no, I don't belong here. Because you don't. Many of us do not belong here. Many of us do not belong here. It's our mind that tells us that we are here. I gave you a story of an eagle. And hunter went to the forest and got an eaglet to the house and put them with the chicks. And the eaglet happened to grow up with the chicks. So from his tender age, he saw the chicks as his brothers and sisters, siblings. And they were growing together. The chicks has wings. The eaglet has what? Has wings. Has beak. And the eaglet has what? Has claws. The eaglet has what? But the eaglet did not understand one thing. Everything he has and the chick has, his was bigger. Oh God. Sir, from the same place, we may born the same day, come from the same place, but we are not still mates. Yes. There's a load of destiny you can carry. I cannot carry. And there's a load of destiny I can carry. You cannot carry. That's what differentiates us. You can have hand. I have hands. But the hands are not the same. The eagle will be picking food from the ground as a chick. But you don't realize that his beak is longer and more stronger than theirs. The eagle will see the chicken, pigeon, flying, and he will do the same. Not saying that his own feathers are bigger and stronger. The eagle will see them looking for food on the ground. But he didn't realize that his own claws are bigger. That cannot just dig the ground, can kill animals. He never knew. Because his mind was locked up by the environment he found himself. The environment he grew up locked him up and told him, you are a chick. Meanwhile, he was not. Many of us are locked up like that. We are not what we are sitting today. We are not what we claim to be. We are not. We are far bigger and better, but something has locked our mind because of everyday occurrences, because of the events of life, because of the happenings of life. You think it cannot happen. You are not. You are bigger than that zone. You are bigger than that place. The day you spread your wings, you will see that it can go very far. The day you spread your wings, you will see that it can be so strong. It can stand storm. It can stand anything. One of those days, as they were growing up, a man walked up to the eagle. I said, what are you doing here? He said, I'm here with my siblings. He said, no. Even if you are here, you don't belong here. You can still be there, but you don't belong there. Your mind has to be renewed. Hey. Sometimes it's not prayer and fasting. It's just to receive the right information that will change your mind. There's something you will hear and will spark you up. I said, no. I can do better. There's an information you could receive. And it will spoil everything up. He said, no, I can do better. I can do it. So when the man looked at you. You cannot compare your wings with them. You cannot compare your beak. Say, okay, try to spread your wings. When the eagle went outside, spread the wings, and realized that his wing can cover Many of those chickens, he kept silence and went in. Went out the following day and did the same thing. Stood at the sun and spread the wings so that these wings bigger. He went in again. On the third day, he said, let me try to fly. He realized that he wasn't paging. You know, there's a limit to how a chicken can fly. He realized that he stood up and he could be sustained. And he knew, that means I don't belong here. I am not from here. I have to look for where I belong. Sir, there's some pampering that will spoil you. There's some comfort that is why you are there. Because you are receiving some, you are supposed to be in the wild. Hi, God. Your nature, your build-up is supposed to be in the wild, not comfort. You can only excel and make progress where you are in the wild. And that beautiful day, the guy came out again. And when he came out this time, he flew. And he realized that he wasn't just flying, he was soaring. Every other bird flies, but the eagle soared. And the guy went up. I said, I cannot go back. I don't belong. I tell you another one. A lion went to drink water one day. The same story was picked up as a cup. Very tender, picked up. And the lion was living with other animals that were reared by the hunters, like goats and smaller animals like that. The lion never knew that he was a lion because he grew up with the goats. The lion never knew that the people he grew up with are his food. So even in the midst of his food, he was still starving because his mind told him, you are a goat. So you can still be a giant like Gideon. You can still be a savior like Gideon, like Joshua, but your mind is telling you otherwise. Until one day they went to drink water. As they were going to drink water, when the guy put his face to drink water, he saw a face of a lion. The lion ran. Get the point? When he dipped his face and saw a reflection of his face, he did what? He thought the enemy has come, not knowing that he has that capacity. But he never knew. He ran! And went again another time and still ran. According to the story, one day a real lion came. When the real lion came, the real lion did not chase him, chase every other person. And the guy was like, that the lion doesn't need him. So why is the lion not? And he went back. And somebody told him, do you know why the lion did not chase you? Because you are a lion. You are strong as the enemy. That's why the enemy did not chase you. But your mind tells you that you are a goat. You can be a lion but behave like a goat because you don't have the proper information. Your mind is everything. That's why I say you cannot be greater than your mind. The first thing that must change in you is your mind. Oh, sir. Except you don't want to do it. If you want to do it, it can be done. I'm telling you practically. Except you don't want to do it. Except you don't want it to happen. If you want to do it, it can be done. It starts by a perfect determination of. Have you not seen people that come from the ghetto and today they are living with the elites? People coming from the trenches. So you don't have any excuse, please. It's just for you to renew your mind and say, no, this thing cannot happen. You stop hearing me now? Listen, it may take time. It may take months. It may even take years. But don't worry. If your mind is at its perfect state, you will definitely get the results. Let it take whatever time it want to take. But make sure in your return, you have the results. As I used to say, they may mock you. It's normal. They may insult you. It's normal. But please, don't come back home without results. Are you hearing me now? There's no amount of explanation that will end that result, that insult. There's no amount of explanation by you that will end that insult. Let them say whatever. Let them mock you and reproach you and call you names. But tell yourself, one day I will end this insult and I will end it with a result. Because results ends. Don't return without a result. Don't return. Tell your neighbor, don't return without a result. So you may travel for many years, but don't come back as you travel. Because that's where you have the real mockery. Let them wait and mock you for 20 years, but come back with something to prove them wrong. Live to prove people wrong. Because there are people that are living to prove you wrong. If you know people that are living to prove you wrong, you will stand up from that place and start working hard. When I mean working hard, I mean you will stand up and change your mindset. Hold on. Do you think that you can have opportunities, big opportunities, if your mind doesn't see that opportunity? You can't have it. Many of us are even ready for the future. Many of us are not ready for the future. That's when opportunity comes, it dies. Because you were not ready for that opportunity. You must be ready for the future you want to become. You must be ready for the future you want to evolve into. Are you ready? Your mind, first of all, must turn like that. Is somebody hearing me now? Oh, let me ask you. If I ask you now, how many of us want to buy cars by next year? You will raise your hand. Mention three names of cars you know. You don't know. You're not ready. Sure. Because the day the opportunity will come, some people just walk up to you and say, which car do you want? It's like me, I don't really know cars like that, so you have failed. I don't know if you get my point. There are people that doesn't have time for that. There are people that will give you just 5 seconds of their time. How many seconds? If you make good use of the 5 seconds, your life will change. If you don't, then you're gone. How are you? Do you like cars? He said, yes. Which car would you like to drive? Say, don't really know much about car. Then you don't deserve the car. You don't deserve it because you won't appreciate it. Do you understand? He won't give to you. You don't appreciate it. You cannot be transformed if your mind is not renewed. What do you know? I've been asking this question all the time. What do you know? Sir, you may not know all, but know something. Sir, there are some men that will walk into your life and the only time they give is 10 seconds. 10 seconds of discussion. Can you retain discussion? Can you sustain a discussion? Hi. Can you sustain a discussion with a big man? That will just bring up one question or one discussion. My friend, how are you? You see, I don't just know what is happening in Ukraine and I don't know what Putin is doing. Yesterday, Zelensky came out and was talking about this to US president. Zelensky said yes. Wow. Are you there with me? He said, yes, I'm there. Zelensky told the US, now wow. because of you don't know what to respond. Sir, you can sustain. Can you sustain a discussion? Life opportunity comes without knocking doors. The rich will only roll with the rich. The smart rolls with the smart. The poor rolls with the poor. The knowledgeable rolls with what? Sir, even when you don't have cash, you can still have money, but you are still poor. Hope you know that. You don't know that? Sir, if I give you 10 million without potential, you are still poor. Is what hearing me? Who can cook bone can your mind? Bible letter, out of the abundance of the heart. It is from here. Don't you know that what enters a man does not defile a man? It is what goes out of a man. Because what goes out will from your mind. If you drink so much and you sit down without talking, nobody will say you are drunk. Hope you know that. You are highly drunk, but you are not talking. The moment you open your mouth, it becomes a sin. Because definitely you will talk under the influence of that alcohol. That's what Jesus Christ said. Drink 20 bottles and 1 gallon. And sit down without misbehaving. It's not counted as a sin for you. Nobody. Just waiting for you to open your mouth and start talking as a drunk. From that second. So when they asked Jesus that question, he said, don't you know that what enters a man does not defile a man? It is what goes out. So it is what you act that makes you right or wrong. You can hear, but you don't act. You can hear, but you don't do anything. You are still intact. What you react, either condemns you or justifies you. Be careful of what enters your mind. Are we together? Renew your neighbor. Renew your mind. Neighbor, you can do better. Neighbor, you deserve better. Neighbor, you are better than this. No man of God has the power to help you. All help comes from who? God can only use my hand to help you, to bless you, to heal you. But at his will, not mine. I wish that everybody would be helped at the same time, right? I wish that if I hand out to you, you will be healed. But he determines when and how you'll be helped. So mine is just to stretch forth my hand. And whatever God wants to do, let him. Are we together? Don't let anybody deceive you. Go back and renew your mind. Go back and do what? Renew your mind. You are better than this. May God bless his word in Jesus Christ's name.